Namaste dosto. Welcome to my YouTube channel called the Avdi Manufacturing. So today we are going to discuss on a topic called SFDA Medical Device Registration. So दोस्तों मैं ये टॉपिक के ऊपर I am going to bring a series of lecture. The series of lecture could be in a form of total lecture 5 or total lecture 10. So दोस्तों आज के लेक्चर में हम ये जानेंगे कि हम अपने मेडिकल डिवाइस को कैसे सऊदी अरेबिया में प्लेस करें by complying with the requirement as stated by an SFDA which is stated as the Saudi Food and Drug Authority. So आइए दोस्तों let's start today's lecture. We are going to talk about the requirement first of all. So दोस्तों क्या होता है जब भी अगर आपको अपना मेडिकल डिवाइस किसी भी जब कंट्री में आप प्लेस करते हैं तो आपको उस कंट्री के रूल्स और जो लोकल रेगुलेशन है उसको कंप्लाइज करना होता है. लेट्स से अगर मुझे अपने मेडिकल डिवाइस को इफ आई एम फ्रॉम द इंडियन टेरिटरी इफ आई वांट टू सेल और इंपोर्ट और डिस्ट्रीब्यूट फॉर एग्जांपल इन द अमेरिकन, सो आई नीड टू कंप्लाई विद द रिक्वायरमेंट एज पर द यूएस एफडीए. सेम गोज विद द यूरोपियन टेरिटरी, राइट? So let's say in this case I am going to place my medical devices into the kingdom of Saudi Arabia which is stated as KSA. So I first my company need to get registered at SFDA either in the form of any of the two pathway. The first one is the medical device listing or by getting MDMA. It purely depends upon the type and this classification of devices, right? The second requirement is to comply that your medical devices is meeting all the requirement as per the essential principle of safety and performance, which is also specified in Annex 1 and Annex 2 of the guidance document given by the SFDA. The third requirement is that the medical device manufacturer needs to hold a medical device technical file or AVD technical documentation which again comply with the requirement as per Annex 3 and Annex 4. So दोस्तों क्या होता है आपको तो पता है लाइक कोई भी जो मेडिकल डिवाइस होते हैं तो उसके पास टेक्निकल फाइल होते हैं which covers all the history of that particular medical device. So ये फाइल के अंदर ना there are various information which will help in populating or filling the database when I go on the online server of SFDA. The fourth point is that a medical device manufacturer should hold a certification pertaining to the ISO 13485-2016. Usually the certificate which are given by the notified body are usually been preferred during the registration processes. Now दोस्तों let's talk about the two regulatory pathway by which we can place your medical device into a territory of Saudi Arabia. So दोस्तों मैंने जैसा कि आपको पहले बताया था कि it purely depend upon the classification of the medical devices when you are placing your product, right? So all the devices which falls under the class 1 either in a form of non-sterile, non-measuring, low-risk medical devices are required to get list themselves in the medical device national registry as a prerequisite for marketing their device in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, right? So usually what happens, this is usually carried out by an establishment who imports or distribute the devices in the KSA. So the basic requirement to comply with the regulatory pathway as per class 1 is to get all the necessary information of the product, of the manufacturer, the proof of QMS, reference country approval, and IFU, UDI, labeling, and the other marketing material relevant such as brochure or the pamphlets and all. The timeline to meet this pathway is usually 4 working days and is valid for a period of 3 years once it has been issued by an SFDA. The second regulatory pathway is to get the MDMA, Medical Device Marketing Authorization. As the name suggests, you need to get an authorized by the SFDA to market your product into the territory of KSA. So other than class 1 devices, they need to follow with this regulatory pathway. The timeline for this pathway is usually 35 working days and it is validity for the 3 years. So दोस्तों आइए जानते हैं प्रोसेस फ्लो चार्ट के बारे में in a nutshell. So my friends, what happened? Assuming that there is a legal manufacturer, let's say for example I am from India. Now I want to place my product into Saudi Arabia. So what I need to do, मुझे अपने behalf पे ऑथराइज रिप्रेजेंटेटिव को अपॉइंट करना है, ओके, एंड लोकल ऑथराइज रिप्रेजेंटेटिव स्टेइंग इन द सऊदी अरेबिया टेरिटरी, राइट. जब मैं इसको अपॉइंट कर लूंगा तो व्हाट आई नीड टू डू, आई नीड टू फैसिलिटेट इन गेटिंग अ लाइसेंस टू दिस ऑथराइज रिप्रेजेंटेटिव हु इज गोइंग टू एक्ट ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ माय कंपनी, राइट. So the first step is to get the AR license, which is very mandatory. Assuming your first step has cleared, it has been issued by the SFDA, it has been listed. Now the second step is to get the certificate, I mean the final approval from the SFDA in order to place your product into the market. This is called as an MDMA submission. So usually an application is submitted through electronically with a specified requisite document. Once you submit, you need to pay an applicable fee. Assuming, let's say SFD complies with the requirement, then they will give you the MDMA, which you are now eligible to sell your product into the market. So this was the basic flowchart. Now I'll be going in a one step detail with the other flowchart. Okay friends, so just give me 2 minutes. I'm just coming back to the screen. Yeah, so those you can see my screen, right? Okay, fine. So let's say what happened, as I told you कि आप let's say you have the 4 category of the device, class 1, 2, 3 or the respectively. So this device needs to be classified. If assuming if a manufacturer have the similar device falling in one particular class, so they need to do the grouping of the devices. Then you need to appoint an authorized representative, right? The moment you appoint an authorized representative, you now need to do a gap analysis, right? Gap analysis means before you go with the MDMA submission, you need to identify gaps in your documents, right, in order to comply with the requirement. So let's say if it is a class 1 medical devices, I need to go with the MDNR listing, as I told you earlier. If it is class 2, 3 and 4, I need to go with the MDMA application. Now what happened? Once I go with the MDMA application, my SFDA will start reviewing all my documents and then will do the assessment. Assuming the assessment is done successfully, then I'll be getting an approval from the SFDA and then this certificate in the form of MDMA, right? So I hope this is clear, my friends, right? So now let's go back to the lecture. So I hope you must have enjoyed my today's lecture. Please do like, comment and share. Subscribe my channel for the more updates and stay tuned with my channel called as IVD Manufacturing. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.